Hey, it's me, Renee. I'm back, and this is the reader profile tag, which I saw recently on Elmos's channel. Uh, which is okay to be precise. Their channel is called. It's not called Elmos's Reads. It's called. Give me a moment. Sorry, the channel is just called Elmosi. For some reason, I thought it was called something else. Yeah, the channel is called Elmosi, and I saw it over at their yeah their channel. But it's the tag itself is created by Book Bustle or Hillary B. Green. Gonna link her video down below, of course. Well, also gonna link Elmosi's video. And yeah, I feel like this looked like a quite fun tag to do. And also, today, this is my 1000th video. So I thought, hey, I want to do something special. So yeah, doing a reader profile tag, I feel is good. Because new old subscribers will learn something new about me or just kind of relearn me, get to know me again. And new subscribers, hi, it's a nice way for you guys to meet me. So yeah, hi, I'm Renee, and this is my channel. And this is my 1000th video. I've been on BookTube now for a little over 5 years, or 6 years now. I've started in 2019, so it's been a little while. And yeah, I suppose just kind of, I'm gonna start with the tag because there are some funny questions here. First prompt is, what makes a good book? Now, I suppose this could be answered in two different ways. I could answer like what makes objectively a good book, but because suppose then again, like how is a book objectively a good book? Like most books have your reviews, yes, but like reviews of a book of any book really will be different. Not all the reviews will agree. There's no one book out there in the world that everyone agrees is amazing. That doesn't really happen. Though there are some books that some people like, there's yeah. Um and then also of course it's also like what makes a book good for you. I'm gonna do for me because I mean it's reader profile tag, so I feel like you should answer personally. So that's what I'm gonna do. Even though I just also talked about how it could be interpreted a different way. But yeah. A good book for me, I would say, or a great book. Well, good book, great book. They're both positive, positive words. A great book for me is a book with dual point of view. So either this point of view from two characters or more. I love that. I love when the chapters have chapter names. So it's not just chapter one um or yeah, it's not just chapter one. Because some places it says like chapter one, some places it's just like one, two, three, four, like it's just a number. But I honestly I love prefer it when there's chapter titles. So kind of like with Percy Jackson in Rick Rider world, he always has chapter titles. So it's like the day that I was almost killed by my teacher and like stuff like that. Love that. Of course, I can kind of see how that can work all the time. But yeah, but I will because I feel like that kind of very much works for middle grade books. And I suppose it couldn't really work for all the books, but I suppose like still if you have like a mystery book, it could like be like the chapter where things are revealed, the chapter where there's another body. I mean, you could like have chapter titles that isn't necessarily funny ones, but still are chapter titles, like in words, like several words. Chapter titles, really. You could have it. Sadly, I feel like that's not really that common. So, but yeah, that's something I love. I also love when books have in the still talking about chapters here, but yeah, I also love when chapters have like small illustrations. So it could just be like a picture of a flower, or it could be a big picture of something, or yeah, just illustration. It could be like a new illustration for each chapter. It could be the same illustration. I don't mind. I still, yeah, I love illustrations that way. I love that. So yeah, that's also nice. Except chapters, what do I care about in books? For me, for a book to engage with me, a book has to be funny. I would say romantic, though. Again, I've read more romance these last few years. I would say it doesn't have to be romantic, but if there's a romance plot in there, I'm enjoying it. But yeah, it has to be funny, and the character has to be interesting. Like I can't read about people just walking to the store, like that's a mundane thing. But if the characters are interesting, like you care about the characters, it doesn't really matter what they do. Of course, you want things to be happening, but also, honestly, for me, I feel like some books things happen all the time. Like every other page, someone is in danger or someone is killed or whatnot, and I'm like, I don't care that people are in danger if I don't really have the time to breathe to get to know the characters. So yeah, for me, the character is very very important. The characters, it's so important. And yeah, also a happy ending. I like books that ends happily. I talked about this the other day in the book club, and the other people in the book club said like they didn't mind books where things ended where people died. I'm like, yeah, I suppose you can understand that sometimes if the story kind of needs a sad ending, I could understand that. But also that's not really my kind of types of stories anyway. So I suppose like I can understand if it's a story about a war and I don't know if yeah if it's about a war and if it's about like based very much on reality, then yeah after a war a lot of people are gonna be dead in like a main city or like people are that's kind of realistic I suppose. But still for me I kind of prefer think books where things end happily. I mean in real life things often go to shit, so I feel like in books I kind of want it to end happily. I do. I have read some books that end bittersweet, and for me that's fine. But books where things end sad or like where the main characters don't aren't in a good place at all, no. If the main character is in a kind of ambiguous place, that's fine. But if the main character like ends this book with like being dead or being like on the way to like suicidal things or whatnot. No, that's not for me. Not at all. Yeah, yeah, that's that really what makes a good book. Also I like shorter chapters. I can read longer chapters, but I prefer them to be shorter. I also very much I suppose this is kind of a bit of a side note, but I also very much enjoy books with extras. So if a book has if at the end of chapters there's a list, or there might or at the beginning of chapters you might have like a quote for somewhere. So it's not like a chapter title; it's just a quote for some different place. Or if at the end of book you have like an extra, you have an interview with the author, stuff like that. So it's not necessarily in the connected to the book, but it's like connected to the book in a way. If you get what I mean, like extra things like that, I very much enjoy that. Um, and yeah, and I suppose I could like say genres I enjoy and stuff like, but like I really love different genres, so I wouldn't like say if I'm going to say genres I enjoy, I would have to say a lot of them. So yeah, and also I feel like in general that's kind of what I enjoy, like because I read different genres. So yeah, yeah. Let's have it at that. Next question is current read. I did just finish a book, but the question isn't what did you first finish? It's current read. So, and usually, as usual, I'm reading lots of books at the same time. But one of them, and I want to pick up again, like later on today when I'm gonna pick up a book, is excuse me, where is that book? Where is the book? Oh, where is the book that I'm gonna be using with this prompt? And then the book is like, it's not in this pile is in that pile. I just completely ignore it. But yeah, This Will Be Fun by E.B. Asher. So I did start this back in, I believe, maybe December. I'm a mood reader. I tend to start books and then kind of forget about them. But yeah, I have started this. I have read the prologue on this, and then I read a few pages in the first chapter. I'm enjoying it, but I wasn't like in the mood for it earlier today. I was in the mood for something else. But now I feel like I might pick up this one soon, or I kind of want to do that. In case you don't know what this is the story of what happens 10 years after the world is saved. So it's a fantasy world where dragons and whatnot, the quest is over and it's 10 years past, and like, what do you do when the world is saved? And like the tagline is, they save the world and it ruined their lives. So it's like, ha, interesting. So I had this on my radar for a long time because it came out last fall. And then I saw it recently talked about in an interview or in a Instagram reel, Instagram live. So I thought, you know what? I have that book. I'm gonna pick it up. So yeah, this will be fun. I'm gonna pick up or continue pick up. Yeah, now. Then we have the next question, which is last DNF. Now, give me a moment. I am gonna there. Yeah, which is last DNF and why, which of course you kind of want to say why you DNF'd it. I picked up Totally Chaotic History. Roman Britain gets what's the full name? Yeah, Roman Britain Gets Rowdy by Greg Jenner. So I've read Greg Jenner books before because he has two adult books, non-fiction books. He's a historian. But he also has he has some kids books. Well, he has a few, but he has like a new series of kids books. I did the first one last year. It was all about Egyptians, and I enjoyed it. And then I picked up the second book last year. Also last year, and then I started like, honestly, I'm not enjoying this as much. And I feel like honestly, it's not really anything to do with the book. It's me, because yes, you can be a 30-year-old and some months and still read books intended for kids, intended for teens. But I would say there are still some books that kind of like are like very much intended for that audience. Like sometimes you kind of are too old for that book. Like for me, if I want to read a book that's geared towards teens or middle grade, fine. But like if it's a book that kind of, it just felt like it was very, very like lots of notes and sideways, like very much geared towards, also geared towards people who haven't really read about history before. And I like history. I like nonfiction. I like history. So things that you mentioned, I already knew. So it's like, yeah, this isn't that interesting really for me at this point of my life. So yeah, I DNF'd it. Nothing to do with the book, just me thinking I can read anything. And I suppose I can read anything, but not the same really. So yeah. Then we have most obscure book people need to read. So yeah, most obscure book you read that people need to read. Now, I have not Googled what is an obscure book. Like, how do you define obscure book? Is it a book that's about something weird, or is it a book that's very a hidden gem? Because I feel like it could kind of be both. So we have two options for you guys here, not just one. I have two. We have Ayuari on Top by Richard Ayuari. So this is both a slightly biography of this actor slash director. He's a British comedian or actor and personality. But yeah, it's both his biography in a way, but it's also him talking about the movie View from the Top by Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's kind of very bizarre and weird, and yeah, I suppose maybe that makes it obscure. Maybe. But yeah, it's a great read. And not long at all. So if you want a great read, shortish read, pick up this one. You need to have know much about Richard Ayari or know about We on Top for you to enjoy this movie. This book. You can enjoy it still, I would say. And sorry. And we have my other pick, which is Women Don't Poop and Other Lies, written by Bonnie Miller. So I got this a few years ago now. Yeah, a few years ago. And I don't remember where I found about this book, but yeah, I got it a few years ago. And it's just a very quick, nice read of like different facts and whatnot about toilets. Like some of the some of the pages are kind of more serious, some of them are more funny, and yeah, it's yeah, an interesting, weird, quick, great, obscure read. Obscure. I feel like maybe it's obscure because people don't really talk about this one. Yeah, this is kind of known because like the how did that this gets made was they did an episode of You on Top because of this book, but this I haven't really heard people talk about. So I'm gonna call it obscure, and I'll say yeah. If you have not read this one, I would say pick it up. It's a delight and worth the read, definitely. Then we have yeah, I don't remember where the okay yeah, I'm just gonna move on that way. The next question is longest read. No, I seem to read books like for like at most 400 pages, but like some of the books are longer. I did used to read some Cassandra Clare, and some of her books are like 700 pages. I think maybe the longest one I read was Count of Monte Cristo, which I read, and that was actually like I think it was 800 pages. And I think also it was maybe a bit abridged because I remember afterwards reading about it and people saying like this page that and that and this page that and that. I'm like, what? I didn't remember that plot point at all. So yeah, even though it was like long, it was like 800 900 pages. It was still abridged. So yeah, but yeah, I believe kind of Monte Cristo, shorter version might have at least been. I suppose I could check, but I've read a lot of books. I could. It would have to be while for me to figure out like what's the honestly to God answer to this. So I'm just gonna say that. Also, I'm feeling a bit famished because today I end up being captured by my book. So I read for like 7 hours instead of doing lunch. Yeah. I'm just gonna pull through, but I might look a bit miffed because of that. But anything for the art. Yeah. Then we have a dinner party. You can invite 5 people or 5 fictional people. Who would you invite? And yeah, the question is just who would you invite, not what would you eat and whatnot. I actually have a video on this one if you want to see that one. But yeah, my fictional party, who would I invite? I would invite first, this may be a bit mean, but Benny from this Norwegian book. So this is a Norwegian book series, and Benny, he's kind of like me. He thinks a lot. He's a big daydreamer. He thinks complicated before he thinks easy, and yeah, having him at the table would be nice. Then we have Susanna Simon from The Mediator. She has a lot of things to talk about. She knows a lot of stuff. Yeah, I think she can hold conversations, and yeah. Then we have Julian from Starry Nights. He knows a lot of things about art. He knows French, which is nice. And yeah, I think he being at the table would also be interesting and good. And then we have Maggie from role playing. Maggie just has my heart. She's just like not here for the bullshit. She's just so passionate, and yeah, we could nerd out together, and yeah, love her so much. And last but not least, we have Charlie Hernandez from the Charlie Hernandez series. I mean, he has so many stories to tell, and yeah, having him at the table would just be so cool. Would love that. So yeah, these people from these books can could be fun. Could be fun. Hmm, sorry. Then we have you on Desert Island. Which 5 books do you bring with you? And I'm just gonna put out of the way. No, I'm not gonna say like a book about building a boat because I'm gonna pretend like this is a desert island. It's more like I go to an island and I will be rescued. Like it's not like I need to build a boat. It's not. I'm not gonna feel like that's kind of cop out. So I'm not gonna mention that kind of books. So I'm gonna go with Stone Broke Heiress by Daniel Owen Jones. Just a very funny book, and I yeah love it so much. Maybe I'll yeah. Goth Nix. Oh sorry, Newt's Emerald by Garth Nix. Also a delight of a book. It's more mysterious than funny, but it's also funny and yeah, has a lot of cool aspects to it. And then we have Friends to Keep in Art and Life. Art is also nice and also kind of nice to like sit on a beach and browse through this book, I feel like. And then we have Invisibility by Andrea Kramer and David Leviathan. Just an amazing book I can reread forever. And yeah, I feel like this could definitely be good to have in Disney Island. Definitely. And last but not least, but the Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies. This is just one of my all-time favorite books, and I could just read it so many times, and it has everything. And yeah, yep, yep. Then you know what? Stick with me. Just stay with me. Yeah, I just had to take some water because water helps when you're hungry. Food is better, but I'm gonna do food afterwards. So yeah. Um, Yeah, this I forgot about. But I can do that one from a lot of these. Which am I going to do that one? Because I've found a question I didn't remember was on tag. That's so many questions, so many options. I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, so next question is a book you could not put down, which honestly is a lot of books. But I'm gonna go with My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenny Levine. I read this last year and yeah, love it so much. Then we have yeah, what would it be about? So if I wrote a book, what would it be about? I feel like this is kind of the same question as the first question, like what makes a good book for you? Though I suppose you wouldn't have to write a book that's well, yeah, you would write about something that would be about good book for you because why would you write something? I mean, it's age old advice. Write about something that you want to read yourself. So yeah, a book that I would write would be time travel because I love time travel books. It would have romance in it because I've been so much into it lately and I think it could be fun to do that. It would it would other than that, I don't know. I mean, it would have good characters. It would have, of course, it would have chapter titles. It would change your life. Which, yeah, I haven't really given that much of thought. Really, I used to actually be a writer. Like I wrote like small stories and whatnot years ago, and I kind of lost interest in it. People say I didn't write well enough and good enough, and yeah, I don't know. Now I write reviews of books, and that's also fun. I did start a fanfic last year, and then didn't get far into it, but yeah, I feel like that's kind of answered that really. Then, last but not least, five authors of books that you will never read. So yeah, five authors of books that you will never pick up. Honestly, with me, I won't say never. Like usually, okay, so usually it's like never say never. Like lots of books I will try to pick up sometime or another. But for me, I would say like in general, I don't want to pick up. Now my head is just going blank. That word that's there. I'm not gonna pick up obnoxious. No, I'm not gonna pick up idiots offers. Not idiot offers. Not obscure offers. I'm not going problematic. Problematic is the word. Problematic offers. I'm not going to do that. So yeah, offers that, uh, for example, has racist characters where it's not like mentioning something bad, or offers where they have Nazis who get love stories. Like why? Like those kind of stuff. And I'm not going to pick up offers who kind of advocate for Israel, like for how Israel is doing it, what they're doing right now. I'm not gonna read those kinds of offers. So yeah, that's kind of the general gist of that. Yeah, I also did want for before to read Ursula Le Guin. I might be mixing her up. I feel like it's Ursula Le Guin, who it's one at least one of those big fantasy authors who had like a huge fan, and then turned out that they had molested their daughter and whatnot. So yeah, that wasn't cool. Was it Ursula? Can't remember. Anywho, yeah, it was an offer. And yeah, I'm not gonna pick up that. But yeah, honestly, just in general, problematic offers, I'm not gonna pick up. I don't really have anyone. I have offers I've tried. Don't really feel like picking up again. But I don't really have a list of offers I like. Think don't read this. Don't read this. I have offers that I think I might not read, but like in general, it's just kind of problematic offers. I'm not gonna touch. So yeah, yeah, it's kind of that tag. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm gonna tag Nikki from Nikki's Books and Lisa Eli because I feel like hearing your thoughts could be nice. I'm gonna tag Rika from Norwegian Bookshelf because she's recently become a booktuber and I want to hear her thoughts about this. I think it could be fun. It's a fun tag to see. I'm gonna tag Ven because yeah, I feel like hearing Ven's thoughts here could be fun. Yeah. Other than that, you know what? I'm gonna tag Olivia because why not? I'm gonna tag Hermie. Though have Hermie done any tags? I don't know if they have, but if you haven't, it's a fun tag to do. I would say so at least. And yeah, I'm gonna hope you do it. And if so, you can tag minutes maybe. And yeah, curious. And yeah, hope you have a nice weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye.